Hello everyone and welcome back to Coin Bureau Clips. It is time for another Clips Q&A, and as you might have noticed, it's a bit different this time around. It's not just me. Thank goodness, I hear you say. Jessica, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. I'm all right. It's nice to have someone to do this with.
Yeah, I know. I get to pick your brains and see what your thoughts are on the crypto market and where we're heading. And thank you for letting me be a part of the Q&As. I've enjoyed watching them over the years. So good to be here.
Living the dream.
Living the Dubai dream, guys.
Okay. Did you know that, so we're filming this on the 29th of August. This is my Dubai-versary. My wife and I got here exactly a year ago.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone seems to relocate to Dubai in summer. I'm not sure what it is, what magnetic force brings us over here, but everyone comes over when it's between 45 and 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it's still really hot out there. Anyway, that's a fascinating little insight into my life for you. Let's get on with the questions, shall we? Okay, so first one comes from Mephisto's 2012. Big thank you everyone big thank you to everyone who sent in questions on Instagram. So Mephisto's 2012 asks, when do you expect the bull market to start? Yes. So Jessica, when do you expect the bull market to start?
I am not expecting the bull market to start anytime soon. I think a really good indicator is the year in the build-up to the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving is expected around April of 2024. The year up is the year to accumulate. It's the year to kind of get your kind of foot in the door when it comes to crypto. And then the year afterwards, historically, is when you have seen the pretty impressive price action. So I'm kind of holding that as being my indicator. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the halving early next year should, if previous cycles are anything to go by, that suggests that is kind of, the start of the bull market. I don't think that prices will be particularly spectacular around that point. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything like the sort of gains that many people may be expecting. I'm expecting probably either towards the end of 2024 or even early 2025 to be more like the sort of time that we can expect to see anything kind of resembling a bull market that people are probably used to or hoping for. Now, I know that sounds a bit bearish, but we are still a long way off. There is a lot of stuff that needs to happen, especially from a regulatory front, but also from a kind of macroeconomic front as well, before we can kind of realistically expect another bull market in crypto. So the good news is time is on our side. We've got plenty of time. I think it's probably, I think any time before 2025 is probably, it might pan out like that, but I don't think it will. Okay, do you want to go off with the next question?
Yes, so the next question we have is from Safi2000, which is, do crypto have use cases and can you give some examples?
Yeah. Good question. Good question. So, I mean, the one that I always like is, and I know people go back to this a lot, but this is the idea of being able to move money to someone across the world without an intermediary. I know that's kind of fundamental to what crypto is, but that use case is still absolutely amazing. I think, because when you consider how long it takes to transfer money via a bank account, for example. If I was to try and transfer some money from my Dubai bank account to, say, my mum's bank account back in the UK, that would be an absolute nightmare. It would take ages. It could take up to sort of 3 or 4 days even. Whereas if I wanted to send her some Bitcoin, it would take a few minutes, and other cryptos are even faster. And I still think that's amazing, even after all these years.
Yeah. And also there's been some interesting kind of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin as a means of exchange as well. So we're based here in Dubai and we will constantly get emails, I don't know about you, saying you can buy a property using cryptocurrencies, you can buy a fancy car using crypto. And although right now I would not spend any of my crypto on these things, it's very cool to see that you can do that. And I used to live in Malta beforehand and there was a Bitcoin auto trader and it didn't look like the most high-tech place, but it was somewhere that you could pay for Bitcoin for getting your car cleaned. It was a really simple thing. And you go to Thailand, for example, there's cryptocurrency coffee shops where you can pay for your coffee using crypto. So we are starting to see merchants accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment more and more, which is very cool to see.
Yeah, that idea of being able to transfer value, and again, transfer value purely peer to peer. I think another good use case to consider with crypto as well is kind of looking ahead to the future as we become more and more digitized.
Yeah.
As more and more aspects of life become digitized, this idea of being able to transfer value within the digital realm, and again, without anyone in the middle of it. And this is one of the things that I think, this is one of the reasons why, for instance, GameFi has so much potential. This idea of being able to have these kind of miniature digital economies in particular games or particular metaverses or particular corners of the internet that can be used, again, this idea of transferring value without having to rely on a bank or any other centralized entity in the future.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And I know we've spoken about this off air when it comes to, if you look at kids, or any of you guys have kids that are watching, Roblox is the thing. It's the trendy thing at the moment. And kids are getting really used to digital currencies within applications in a way that we necessarily didn't have when we were growing up, getting used to video games. So we are starting to see these use cases of digital currencies being utilized and being understood with the utility attached to them, and I think that will migrate and continue to grow.
Yeah, it's going to become more and more fundamental to just life in general. Okay, Millbill 85 has the big question, the really tough one: when Lambo?
Well, me personally, I do not have a driver's license, so my Lambo will not be anytime soon, sadly. And I'm also too tall. Have you tried to get in a Lamborghini before?
No.
It's very difficult if you're a tall person. It's a very low down car.
Yeah, actually the taxis here are quite low down, and I do struggle to get out of them sometimes.
Your knees would be
knee,
a goner with those.
My arthritic knee. So when Lambo, no time soon, Millbill. We need more sensible cars. It's probably not the answer you're looking for.
But there are a lot of Lambos in Dubai, and actually there's one, maybe I can post it on Twitter so you guys can see afterwards, that has all of the Bitcoin logos on. I actually saw it outside a Bitcoin conference in Dubai when I first came here in 2021. So if anyone would like someone behind the scenes of the crypto cars in Dubai, let us know, and I'm sure we can accommodate that.
Dig up that photo.
On our socials,
Yeah. Okay, what's the next question we got?
From Peter JHLK, we have, is copying your portfolio a good strategy?
Ooh, probably not.
Okay.
Well, I should clarify, I haven't really done anything to my portfolio for quite a long time. I haven't bought anything, I haven't sold anything. I've just been hodling and just kind of watching from the sidelines. So, I mean, if you'd copied my portfolio over the last few months, you wouldn't have lost anything, but you wouldn't have made anything either. So I always think, I know things like copy trading on certain exchanges is a big thing. And look, I mean, people are always looking to people in our position, people who work in the industry, like what are we holding? What do we think is good by extension? And I think obviously that has, something to recommend it. But I mean, remember, we don't know for certain. We make educated guesses like everyone else. So I think you should be wary with copying other people's portfolios, because at the end of the day, you should be doing your own research to make those decisions yourself, because we're all grown-ups, or at least I think most of us are. I can't imagine many children are watching this. But,
If you are, you're ahead of the curve, guys. You're getting into it early. But I completely agree with that. I think people will have different time spans of when they're looking to invest and what they're looking to allocate their portfolio into. So it's definitely a very good idea to do your own research, as Guy has said. But then at the same time, there is transparency when it comes to certain finfluencers or crypto traders that will have. You can, for eToro, I know you can do it. I'm not sure about the other trading platforms where you can copy their trading strategy. If you're a trader, I'm personally not. I'm a longer term investor, so mine would be dormant as a trading portfolio.
I'm no trader either. I'm pleased to say. Okay, let's move on then. So is it possible to make crypto useless or ban them somehow? And that's from VCevic777.
I always think this is an interesting one, because people do tend to be quite cautious around the idea of what will happen if a government or an entity bans cryptocurrency. And I think if you look back at the amount of times China has tried to ban Bitcoin and crypto, it's probably around 13 or 14 separate times that they've tried to ban crypto, ban Bitcoin. And I remember when I was first reporting on cryptocurrency news back in kind of 2016, and that would move the markets a little bit. You would see a percentage dip if it did come out that this was another. China has banned Bitcoin mining. As we know, China was one of the forefront leaders. Bitmain was relocated there. And that was one of the first entities that would house cryptocurrency mining ASIC chips. And that's why China was really kind of the forefront. I mean, the beauty of cryptocurrency is that it is decentralized. So it is not possible to ban it in that regard. However, the governments can limit, for example, you going on board onto a cryptocurrency exchange, or you acquiring or trading cryptocurrencies using platforms. So that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Reducing access to the front end, like this is a big thing with DeFi protocols at the moment, because the DeFi protocol itself you can't ban in the same way that you can't really ban Bitcoin. But what governments can do, what regulators can do, is limit people's access to the front end. So, for instance, like Uniswap's front end, which is how the vast majority of people interact with Uniswap smart contracts, that could in theory be banned. Now, there would be other ways to interact with the smart contracts, but not many people know how to do that. And it would be quite complicated. You'd really have to know what you were doing. And that would be obviously objectively bad for Uniswap. So that's something to consider. And going back to what you were saying, Jessica, about China, I mean, you're right. China has banned Bitcoin so many times, banned crypto so many times. And yet there was that recent report, wasn't there, that a sizable chunk of Binance's revenue was coming from China.
Wow.
So I think what that illustrates is that this idea of banning crypto is kind of impossible, especially decentralized, credibly neutral cryptos like Bitcoin. It might be a bit more difficult for cryptos that aren't so centralized, that can be more easily targeted against individuals or companies or other entities. It's certainly not easy just to outright ban them. Okay, what's the next one we got?
So we have Keep Us Updated on What the Fed Says or Does by me, Adil Ijaz, which I think is a nice open-ended that, yes, we absolutely will keep you updated as we see movements. We do have a video coming out over the next few days over Jerome Powell.
Jerome at Jackson Hole. Yeah. So we cover the Fed quite a lot here, obviously, because what the Fed says and does, especially in regard to interest rates, has a big bearing on the crypto market. So the latest thing is Jerome Powell at the Jackson Hole conference, which was last week, and his remarks. But keep a lookout for that video because it should be with you. It might already be out by the time you watch this. It'll be over on our main channel because Jerome's speech was very interesting, but there was another speech that was perhaps even more interesting and possibly more consequential. So look out for that one. But yes, of course, we will keep you posted when it comes to everything the Fed is up to. Okay, next question. Mephisto's 2012 again. Okay. Are NFTs securities?
So that is a very good question. And actually, when I saw this question, I thought, okay, I'm going to have a little bit more of a look into that. And first of all, it's not easy to categorize kind of NFTs as an asset class. This is what the SEC has openly said as well the last few weeks. However, on the 28th of August, the SEC actually brought its first non-fungible token enforcement action into play. So I'm going to share the link in this description of this video, and I really do recommend anyone to check it out because they do go into quite a lot of technicalities of how the SEC has determined that this specific NFT and kind of sale from an LA-based entertainment company, Impact Theory, is categorized as a security. And they were hit with a pretty big penalty of $6.1 million. Yes, so I will leave the link in the description for you all to go and have a look. That is the first case that we have seen from the SEC taking enforced action from something they've judged as a security. And we'll have to wait and see going forward. Yeah. NFTs have kind of been conspicuously left out of a lot of kind of draft legislation, a lot of the conversation around legislation. I think the EU with MiCA, kind of, there wasn't really much talk of NFTs. I think the SEC has also, up until today, as you say, has also been kind of quiet on them.
And I think, although I'd like to think that is a good sign, I think they're just trying to figure it out. So I would imagine the pessimist in me says we're probably going to see more like this, more efforts to classify NFTs as securities. But I think probably I guess there's also the sense that when you take into account everything else crypto related that the SEC is kind of going after at the moment, maybe it's just a question of priorities. Maybe they're just like, we'll get to NFTs, don't you worry. But yeah, it's definitely one to watch, because I think they probably will go after them more aggressively. Okay, next question. Will you? This is Lakinoton. I don't know. Will you be buying ADA again? Jessica, will you be buying ADA again?
So I think I bought Cardano first in 2017, kind of sold around late 2017, early 2018, and I haven't bought any Cardano since. So I don't hold any ADA at the moment, and I'm not really planning on doing so in the near term. I'm kind of, as I've mentioned, a pretty boring trader and hodler, so my portfolio is pretty slim. What about you? I
mean, I'm not planning to buy any ADA sort of imminently, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out. I've said this many times, like Cardano is a fascinating project. I think it's got as good a chance as any of those sort of competing layer ones to be, to challenge Ethereum, or to be, I don't think necessarily challenges Ethereum, but, to be the kind of other layer one to Ethereum, the next one along. So I think Cardano, for that reason, has a lot of potential in that regard. But we'll see, because I think, there are these still new layer ones coming out. And when we talk about bull markets and things like that, quite often the coins that did well from previous bull markets, ADA being one of them, don't always tend to do well in the next. So that's something I'll be considering. That's not to say ADA can't do well again. As it happens, I'm supposed to be doing a Twitter space on Friday, the 1st of September, with the man himself, Charles Hoskinson.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, which has only recently been put in the diary. So I will ask Charles himself if I get a chance, and maybe he can give me a steer. I think I know what his answer would be, but anyhow. Okay.
This is a Q&A exclusive on the, if the news hasn't been announced yet on Twitter, you've heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, there you are. If you're watching this before Friday the 1st of September, bookmark that space, because that should be fascinating. Sorry to interrupt you folks, but I have to let you know about the Coin Bureau deals page. My team and I have been able to pull together some of the best promos and discounts in the crypto space. We're talking trading fee discounts of over 50%, thousands of dollars in bonus airdrops, amazing deals at top exchanges, and reduced prices on hardware wallets, and much, much more besides. So just go to coinbureau.com/deals, also linked to below, and find the promo suited to you. And now, back to the video. Here's one. So we've got a couple more left. I'm looking forward to this last one. So the next one is, what makes a good meme token, and what makes a meme coin stand out of the countless ones we have? So that's from Dead Then Dead. What makes a good meme token?
Excellent question. So I kind of like the second half of this question more. I think we do have to acknowledge that Dogecoin was the kind of meme coin that has now gone on to hold the utility of. Elon Musk has recently announced that you can purchase on the Tesla application using and paying for Dogecoin. So as a means of exchange, Dogecoin has now kind of got an additional utility. I do have to kind of put that in there and give a little bit of credit where credit is due. Makes a meme coin stand out personally? I mean, I look at the names. I look at meme coins as kind of something which I don't personally invest in. I do like to have a little look occasionally at the market movements and see what's trending. You'll often see some of the meme coins on CoinMarketCap as being one of the most watched. And the names just stand out as being very bizarre and humorous at times. Yeah,
there are some classic ones, aren't there? There have been a couple recently. There was one that kind of messed with, that had a very unique ticker, a very long name and a very unique ticker for a meme coin, which I think confused a lot of people and went fairly crazy because of that. I'm not going to say which one it is, but Yeah, I think the clue's in the name with a meme coin. Like, what makes a good meme coin? You got to have a good meme, and it's like, I think that's one of the reasons why Dogecoin has done so well, is that Doge meme became so popular.
Yeah.
And it capitalized nicely on that. And as you say, it's had this extraordinary journey going from, just a kind of joke meme coin. And remember, it was conceived, it was built and designed as a joke, to actually, as you say, like having some utility, like Elon, even if it is just kind of Elon Musk pumping it relentlessly. But I think the strength of it kind of rested on the strength of that meme. And I think really that's the case for Pepe as well. Now, Pepe has obviously been on a fairly wild ride recently, and that's another point that I want to touch on. But I think the reason why Pepe was able to generate so much excitement in the depths of a bear market was because the Pepe meme was really well known, and not just amongst crypto traders. The Pepe meme has been around for years, so really recognizable. And I think that's, I think a meme coin that's the main thing for its success. It has to be a meme that people just get on board with. And I feel like, you see things like Shiba Inu, which was kind of, a sort of spin-off, taking its inspiration from Doge. Was it because Elon Musk had a Shiba Inu dog as well?
I think it was something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean that's been a surprisingly well-performing meme coin. It's stuck around, is what I mean. But it's so weird to see that, because now they're launching their own layer 2. And if you watched our video about Dogecoin versus Shiba Inu from a couple of years back now, the Shiba Inu devs are trying to do quite a lot with it. They've got this layer 2, you've got these kind of governance tokens, they're trying to build this sort of DeFi ecosystem, or at least they were. And I was always baffled by that, because I was like, but it's a meme coin, it's just a meme coin. Like you're doing all this other stuff with it, which never made much sense to me, but then again, it has stuck around. I think the other thing to consider, and this is in reference to what happened with Pepe, was it the end of last week when a whole load of the devs started dumping it on exchanges, decentralization. And I think that's one of the things. Now, can you say Dogecoin is truly decentralized? I'm not sure you can. If you just look at the supply, I mean, one wallet holds an outsized amount of it. But Dogecoin is proof of work. And Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer have kind of stepped back from it. So you could perhaps argue that it's more decentralized than most meme coins. And obviously that's been one of the big failings with Pepe. There are only a handful of people running it, and a lot of them were able to make out like bandits.
Yeah, and I would say to anyone that is looking to trade meme coins, also just to trade with caution. We have seen sneaky tokenomics from some of these coins that will arise and occasionally catch investors out with honey traps, for example, where you put your funds in and you then for some reason cannot sell them, and that's all part of the tokenomics if you read the fine print. And I would just say to tread with caution and make sure you really know what you're putting your funds into.
Yeah, because remember folks, the Venn diagram, the meme coin and shitcoin Venn diagram, there's some pretty firm overlap there. Anyhow, so last question. What's this one, Jessica?
So the last question from Mephistos 2012. Am I a security? Are you a security?
Are you a security?
What's the?
Right. So they're asking, am I a security? That is the question. Am I? So I think they're asking. I think Mephistos 2012 is asking if Mephistos 2012 is a security. I'm afraid to say, Mephistos, I think you probably are. Certainly in Gary Gensler's eyes. So, what do you think, Jessica? Is Mephistos 2012 a security? Sure,
let's go with it. He's a security, you're a security, we're all securities in this household.
Everyone's a security. There we are. Okay, that's quite enough talk of securities for today. Jessica, thanks for joining me on this. This was great fun.
Thank you for having me. It was great to catch up and great to answer some of the questions we had come through.
Yeah, and thanks again for sending in all your questions. I'm sorry we didn't get to answer all of them this time, but do please keep sending them in, and we'll do another one of these in the near future. So don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.